Hello everyone and welcome to the penultimate week for Firestone Firehawk Season 3. And things are spicing up this week as we still have a 3-way battle in the championship and like a 4-way battle in like the mid-pack as well. So those are all still going on, and you know, all the points here are huge going into the final quads. This is going to set the stage for that. Going down the starting lineup, we got left to right, Slaunch, Detail, Luke, Roman, Fireball, Soul, Turkey, Opix, and Real Deal and Vulcan. So that's our starting lineup for Moto 1, 16 laps. Sticky down 16 laps here around Waterbug GP. This is the only new Halo 4 track that we're running in the schedule, so right at the end here, throwing this one in. Kind of two experiments in the last weeks for both series, actually. And we'll get to that when we get to the next hog race. And we're green for 16 laps around this cheesy track. You'll see it when we go around for a lap. Few spots where you could definitely get conked, and one of them is this initial jump. But surprisingly pretty clean for everybody so far. A little stoppage there. Oh no. And Luch in the rock. Soul getting collected 3 wide for a second. And yeah, the backpack battle is already full cheese. Lots of swapping. Top 4 other way around, I would say. Already getting gapped a little bit. Fireball not too far behind Roman. Real deal to the inside, trying to have a look. Maybe. Oh, that was a move. Who's that? That was Vulcan? The hell was that? Glad we caught that. That was definitely a move. But 1 lap completed. Slaunch leads it down. Detail second, Roman third, and Fireball must have went for something because he was pretty close behind. He dropped a bit at the end of that lap. The top 3 looking pretty good right now. Things start to separate. As we usually see in a lot of these Halo 4 Goose races, it seems to be harder to keep the battles going. Roman had a bit of a peak there for a second, but didn't get the run on the rumble to be able to challenge for second there. But yeah, the battles don't seem to go on as long as they do with the Hogs. The Hogs, it seems like they could just go all day at times with certain battles. Ooh, a little wide run there for Soul. Costing him some track position. Turkey and Vulcan in the back. Trying to regain. Not the greatest start for either of them. That's still Slaunch getting a nice gap in the leads. Detail still in second. He's gotten away from Roman a bit on this lap. Fireball now starting to close in. Maybe he'll put up a challenge here for Roman. If he can make up some time. Roman going for something on the rumble. Doesn't work out. Maybe this is the opening for Fireball here on the left side. I like the move from Fire. Yep, that was pretty good. I like the move there. Aggressive into the turn to kind of make Roman go defensive. Try to hold him off, and Roman ends up just oversending it. Fireball set it up. Slowed it down. Gets into the podium position. Place that he hasn't been too much throughout Firestone Firehawk season. A lot of 4ths and 5ths. A lot of 4ths and 5ths for him, but only a podium or 2. I think maybe 1 on the season, so no, he'll be trying to hold on to that. Roman just had a big send into the left-hander there. And that cost him quite a bit. I don't think the line was there for that. Cheeses the pole. And maybe losing the spot to Luke here now too. But still side by side. Can he set it up like Fireball did? They're close. Still side by side. But that cheesy landing on the left side for Roman's going to cost him a bit of time there. Real Deal oversending it in the back a bit. But not too far off. Opix and Soul pretty close. That might be one of the closer battles on track right now, actually. But yeah, Roman, it was hard to see with that angle, but I think just going for a full send, thought he had the momentum, and then Fireball, I bet, probably just didn't see that coming in time and was setting up for it, and Get a little pole action for him. But Real Deal's getting pretty close behind Roman here. Oh yeah, by the way, I kind of like brushed over it, but Real Deal returning for this race wants to participate in the grand finals, so making this race and potentially the last hog race too. Hint, hint. Real Deal, you should do that. But yeah, potentially the last 2 races of the season, get him some starts. He'll go for the grand finals and try to make it happen there. But for now, trying to get some practice on the gooses, which is good. If he does show up for the last 2 weeks, it is good too, because then he gets a little bit of practice on both. Grand finals, we are going to have both the hogs and the gooses as well, just like we have throughout the entire season, so not switching that up there. We'll definitely see that back in the grand finals. So definitely good for him to get some practice on both, because that's going to be kind of difficult. We've been switching back and forth throughout the season, but one thing that we haven't done that makes the grand finals like kind of unique on this Firestone Firehawk season is in one night switching between them. We haven't, TRS we did that a lot. TRS we did that a lot with the different games and stuff like that, but when it comes to this series, it's just been one vehicle per week pretty much throughout the whole thing. But for the grand finals, oh no, pole cheese for Roman. He's going to lose the spot to Real Deal. That's how Real Deal's going to take over, 5th place there? Yep. Roman goes out of the top 5 with that. Still making some runs on Slunch, getting pretty close behind. We'll see if we can make anything happen of it. Not too far behind at this moment. But yeah, so that'll be what I'm looking forward to going into the grand finals, is seeing how that switches things up. Going back and forth from one of the vehicles to the next might make things kind of weird, instead of just being able to practice for like one track type. Going into the night definitely makes things more difficult. We saw that in the TRS grand finals again. 4 different games featured equally throughout that entire grand finals. That was pretty tough. Hard to manage all the different strategies that you have with the gooses in the different games, because they're all a little bit different. Even, I'd say H2A and Halo 4 are pretty close, but even those have their own minute differences to them and how you want to run them. And then I think a lot of it has to do with the crash physics, honestly. But little differences between all of them, and Halo 5s too, but we don't talk about that anymore, Lamau. Except for when we do. So Detail had a good run for a bit there, but ends up losing a bit on Slunch. So Slunch stretches out the gap again halfway through the moto, trying to hold on to it. Many wins on these H4 gooses throughout the season, and if he wins this too, well, not necessarily this moto, but if he does well, I would say he doesn't need to win the overall, but if he does well, he should lock up the division championship on the gooses as well. So just for the goose races, just the points with the goose races, should be the leader out of that, as long as he does decent. Tonight has a pretty big lead going into it. Doesn't have to do too well, doesn't have to win the overall, but a good race or two, and Fireball cheesing the pole in front of Luke and Real Deal, and Luke gets caught up with it. Real Deal finds the line and gets by. And that was starting to heat up. It looked like Luke and Real Deal were both catching up to Fireball, and it was looking like we were going to have a spicy podium battle, but then Fireball had to go and cheese it with a little pole conk. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get that, so that sucks. But, maybe we could heat it back up. Maybe there could still be a podium battle towards the end of this moto, but unfortunately it's not going to happen there. I thought it was going to, but they kind of cheesed it. Unfortunate. Blame Fireball, Lamau. Let's go on board Opix and Soul. Opix been chasing down Soul this entire moto. And they're 2 drivers that could be competing in the points too. Like I said, it's not just the top 3 championship battle. There's like a 4-way battle elsewhere in the points. In the midfield that is pretty intense too, and those guys are all pretty close. Oh, is it already spicing up? Oh, Luke to the inside for the podium spot, but you don't get as clean of a landing there, so he has to try to send it in here, but not get into the poles either. Trying to set it up. Oh, maybe the run at the end of the rumble, but not going to happen. Got pretty close for a sec there, though. Real Deal definitely looking to defend that spot. I'm sure he'd be very happy with getting a podium back in his first start in a while, since like TRS season, I suppose. Yeah, since like TRS Grand Finals. So it's been a couple months, really. I think it has to have been at this point. Yeah, been a couple months for him at this point. Oh, the cheese. But he does lock off that rumble line, and that is going to keep him the spot. Although it is heating up, and if they keep battling, Fireball's not too far behind. So this podium battle, now we're starting to get it a little bit. Again, when we missed out on a few laps earlier. Could Roman get back into this? He's got quite a few goose lengths to go. He'd probably need like a 3-way battle between them to last for a while for him to catch back up. Roman's kind of fallen back at this point in the moto. At the same time, though, I said it in the recap too, like Roman's kind of in an interesting spot for these regular season races in Firestone Firehawk, these last few, because he's kind of like locked into his spot. He can't really gain anything. He's not really going to lose a spot either. It's just not going to happen, so he can kind of just do whatever he wants. That's what I think he should do. I think he should just make some riskier moves and just go for some wins, because why not? Like, you're not going to make up any spots. You're not going to lose any spots, so why not just go for some wins? That's what I would do. But, you know, Roman's not going to do that because he's white. La, la, la. How many laps to go? 3 laps to go. Luke and Real Deal still pretty close. Any big mistakes from the two could switch up the spots. Try to take a look. That's Vulcan and Turkey over there on the far right. Soul and... I think Soul must have cheesed something. Maybe some type of mistake. Because now he's behind Opix by quite a bit. So they were pretty close for a long time this race. But now it looks like Opix taking that spot. Taking a bit of a gap. With 2 to go. Luke and Real Deal still fairly close. Fireball fell off of them a little bit. And Roman caught up a bit, it seems. So maybe that battle's not over yet either. That's Slaunch, that's Detail right there. So 2 laps to go. And with that gap, that's going to be a pretty tough gap to make up in 2 laps. Really, Slaunch would have to make a mistake, or probably 2, for that to end up closing. So just has to run it clean, and this would be a good start to his night for the overall championship. And like I said, probably like virtually lock up it for the Halo 4 races as well. We're going into it. White flag for Slaunch and Detail. Try to get a look at all these battles in the last lap. Oh yeah, we love this shot. But yeah, it looks like he's just got a bit too much of a gap. That's Slaunch and Detail on the right side of your screen right now. They're almost catching up to lap traffic with Vulcan and Turkey. Going over the bridge. Luke and Real Deal pretty close now. Fireball not too far behind either if it gets cheesed. Could get spicy as they're going over the bridge. Oh, this is working out pretty well, huh? And Slaunch and Detail will take first and second. Will it get spicy for the podium spot? And Real Deal's going to hold on at the end. Take third. Luke take fourth. Fireball holds on to fifth. Roman 6th. And like I was saying, Opix got away from Soul for a bit there, so he'll take 7th. Soul will take 8th. I'm curious if if we'll see a full send with this this battle. So there's Opix taking 7th. Soul's gonna take 8th here. And are they gonna do it? Oh, did he cheese it? I think Vulcan already did. I think he already went for something. It didn't work. So Turkey will end up taking 9th. Vulcan 10th, and that'll be our final order for the first moto for Waterbug GP. So again, Slaunch, Detail, and Real Deal on the podium for this one. Now we're going to go into usually the cheesiest moto of the night, the invert start Moto 2. Get conked.